Hello everyone, welcome back to Yokai Temple, and it has been a very interesting couple of days. So, couldn't find many of the Crimson Cult guys to give me a hand, but one of them dropped a book, and this particular book is filled with strange symbols, and god dang NEI, stop defaulting to cheat mode for crying out loud. Yuck. So, filled with strange symbols, click to study it. So, I gave this book a look. I made it funny. And I managed to get a bit of research done that I think is gonna put me very much on the right kind of path. Yeah, I did murder a ton of them. Jeez. But anyways, so I've got a bunch of stuff today. I don't know how much of it we're going to get done. And give me back my slippers. Which I should probably rename to slippers, but meh. More pressing matters to contend with. Okay, so if we hop on up to the Foundcraft area up here, then I can deal with all of this. So, I'll talk about all of this in a second. So, what I managed to figure out is this. Opening the eye. I figured it out! I'm pretty sure that the Crimson Cult guys were apparently missing, like, one tiny bit of information, but this isn't really cool. So, let's see what this looks like. So, what is it? What is it? Come on. Show me. Okay, opening the eye. It was all so simple, you were amazed the Crimson Cultists have never discovered this. Yeah, I don't know why they've missed it. It's kind of strange. To perform the ritual, you simply need to place 4 eldritch eyes on a specifically marked keystone found at one of the strange altars where you first discovered the cult. Oh, we've got 2 of them over that way. The sinister note above the keystone must remain intact. Once this is done, it is a simple matter of infusing a large amount of Primal V into the keystone with a wand. 100 units of each should be sufficient. If you have done everything right, the ritual should be complete and the so-called eye would be opened. Of course, you have no idea what that means. No matter, only fools fear the unknown. Okay, so, with this, we might be able to peer into other worlds. We might be able to find out what's, like, happening with all the other, like, worlds that might be out there. We might be able to find out how many of them there are. We might, I don't know. I want to find this out. This is really interesting. I want to discover this. Okay, I'm a little bit manic. I know, a little bit manic. Just a little bit. So what is it to make those? Because it said I need 4 of these. Yeah, 4 Eldritch Eyes. So I need Void Seeds, and Eye of Enders and Gold Ingots. Okay, those are fairly cheap. A whole stack of Alienis. Okay, that could be a bigger problem, because our system here only has storage for a stack at a time. But it is, like, holding 16 of it right now, so I guess we're not making that today. Oh, that's a pain. Anyways, a little bit of house cleaning. So, over here, I have renovated the subterranean structure. So if I go through here, I believe. Now, in order to make the orderly lamps, we had to have a whole ton of stability, basically pre-existing. Basically, you need to have the orderly lamps, which improve your stability, and to get them, you have to get a lot of stability. So, kind of strange. So, in here, we have, I think, just over 150 items now. And there is no limit on these, so yay. And they're all perfectly arranged so that they're all symmetrical properly. So yeah, we've got a bunch of mixed crystal clusters, we've got a bunch of earth, a bunch of entropy. Basically, all of this is crystal. Everything down here is just crystals. So consequently, the whole thing is ridiculously stable. So I actually don't think we're in dire need of the orderly lamps. Plus, the orderly lamps actually, like, take a degree. Let me just open it up. It's under Technomancy. The orderly lamps require some ordo into the top, and then they also produce flux as a byproduct. I haven't managed to work out what it means by produces flux as a byproduct, but the ordo is like a constant thing. So the orderly lamps, I think, are for when you're trying to make really compact kind of, like, builds. I don't think we're in much need them, although this is right here is the edge where the wall starts, like, of the actual, like, hill. So that's not magnificent, but we have space. fact, we have excess space. We've got like 2 blocks of like walking space around here before we run out of detection for the Matrix. So, yeah, that is a thing. And I don't think I'll have to worry about alter stability until like get a distinct sign of it. There's a little bit that you can't figure, that you can't fix. I think the Oli lamps might be one of the few ways that just outright stop instability from happening, whereas having all of these crystals makes it very unlikely, very tremendously unlikely, in fact. But yeah, that's just like occasionally there's a bit of randomness, so occasionally we might still get a piece of instability, but we should be okay. So next on the list then, the essentia storage. As you can see, all of the quantum jars have been arrayed quite nicely, and all of the wanted jars are gone, but we're still detecting stuff over here. Also notice that we're down to 1 crystalline eye in there as opposed to the 2 we previously had. That is because I have reworked where all of our stuff is. So the alembics are all piping their stuff down. I've got a little valve here just in case I need it. And that goes down here to a singular wooded jar, which our flesh golem, who is still as yet unnamed. I don't quite know what to call you. Frank, I guess? I don't know. So our flesh golem is tied to this wooded jar, so he takes everything out of it and puts it into these. Now this is 81 different void jars, and a fair few of them have already been labelled, although as more get labelled I'll add more names to, I'll add more to them. So presently this is all of our essentia that presently exists, and this was a lot of obsidian and a lot of blaze powder, but thankfully I can actually manufacture that fairly cheaply. So the void jars can hold up to 64 of an essence, and then any more that's put in, it just sort of erases. So you always have a sort of a static volume of 64 if you wanted. Which means that I can pretty much pump stuff down here and he'll always be able to store it. And I think this is actually more jars than presently there are essences, which is kind of helpful, you know, just the kind of useful stuff. And there's only really like one slight problem, which is that since I've got the free alembics up there, we can only receive so much at a time. It only comes down at a certain speed. I need to find some kind of better way of processing essentia, but I don't think I have access to one just yet. Maybe once we like have a poke in the other universes, we'll find out some discrete like methodology for it. But right now, this is kind of just what we're going with. So yeah, that's our little, like, zone for Frank, the flesh golem. Frank seems like an appropriate name for him, I don't know why. So, that is that all tidied up, so we can just burn stuff. It all goes down to Frank, he puts it in the jars, gets detected by the essentia locus, and then we can pull it out through the essentia mirror over to the altar and everything, so yay. There is one slight problem with using it that way, which I'll get into in a quick moment. But the thing we're making today is the osmotic enchanter, because as you can see, I am still completely unenchanted, and that's honestly just not going to do, I think. If we're going to be poking around in different universes, we're going to want some kind of distinct level of protection. So this osmotic enchanter gives us access to a whole bunch of stuff, and we can enchant basically just using Viz. The V that's inside of our wands, like our scepter, which charges from mana, making it kind of relatively cheap, honestly. So for this, we are going to need... Ooh, this is a dangerous one, so I guess this is a pretty good test of our Runic altar now. So we need an enchantment table. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 obsidian tiles. You can find these inside of the naturally spawning sinister nodes. 2 falmium, and a bit of spellbinding cloth, which is just a bit of enchanted fabric. In there with some precantatio, permutatio, and perdicio. And that's just, like, a really cheap thing to make. You just need wool and string inside of a workbench. Done. So, with that in mind, I believe I have a bunch of this already. So, I've got my enchanted fabric, and I've got my obsidian tiles. So, let me just gather up the rest of our ingredients that we're going to need, and I will be right back. Okay, so I've managed to get our spellbinding glove and all the other things we're going to need for this, and I'm pretty sure I've gotten all of the different components. I might need to make just a little bit more alienis, though. So where can we find alienis? Let's see, we can get it from... Ender pearls. Okay, that's fine. I think I have a fair few ender pearls around. So, I'll just stick these inside of our thing. We can actually see it working. That'd be nice. Let me see. I need a couple of these probably. So let's just give it 3. And it can cook through that quite happily. We can see it all going in. That'll be lovely. And let me see. Do I have any fuel? I should. Oh, hello. Some blaze powder, maybe? I don't actually know if you can use this as a fuel. We're about to find out. And looks like no. Yeah, although it doesn't look like that actually has any, like, checking for what is and is not a fuel. Which is a little sloppy, just gonna say. But anyways, I'll probably be switching to, like, blaze rods for this soon enough. Okay, so off we go, and we're cooking. And it's going down here. Don't worry about that, it's mostly a visual thing. And, oh, he's running around. And he's grabbing all of the, I think it's Iter that's coming in here. Oh, no, it looks like Pregentatio now. Very good, and he is prioritizing, so he will actually just grab the stuff that goes into where it's already got some. So that is magnifico. A little bit wasteful, but we can stand a little bit of waste. I'm sure it's not like a big environmental issue. Okay, so with that, we should... Yeah, we got 18 Alienis. We need at least 20 for this, but it'll work its way in there. Soon enough. 19. There we go. And is there a 20? Can you give me a 20, please? I need a 20. Do. Come on, Frank. Chop, chop. Get it in there. Anytime now. Okay, this is not the fastest of systems, I will grant. But we have to, like, there's a lot of stuff I could do to maybe, like, improve this. I know there's, like, 4 Alienis per Ender Pearl. Come on. Dude. Dude, you're really hurting me here. Come on. 21. There we go. Close enough. Right. So, let's engage this. Pretty sure it's all set to go. Got all the ingredients in. So here goes a nothing. Do not put that back in. Okay. Let's do a fly over here so we can see it a bit better. Oh, ow. That wasn't pleasant. That wasn't pleasant at all. Bad altar. Bad. Well, bad runic matrix. I keep getting mixed up between those two. Yep, okay, I need to put this back before it's done absorbing stuff, although it looks like that could be a while. There we go. As long as it doesn't destroy them. Whoop. Spellbinding cloth. Okay, so this does still have some stability issues, clearly. But as long as things stay where they're supposed to be, we should be alright. Speaking of, let me put that back there so it doesn't get a bit more unstable. Whoop. Nope, not the Falmium. Come on. Oh, dang, the Falmium goes into here. That's annoying. Not helpful, bag. Oh, things are getting in. Okay. We should be alright here. We have a little bit of cleaning up to do, evidently, but we should be fine. One more piece of obsidian tile going into the Falmium now. And the spellbinding cloth, by the way, if you're wondering, can be used to wipe enchantments clean off of an item. So there we have it. It is done. So let me grab it out of there. Okay, so we've got ourselves an osmotic enchanter. Now, this requires a specific structure around it. We might as well build that just over here across from our farmcraft area. So let's plonk it about here. And exactly how we build this is a little hard to understand because there's not exactly a demonstration of it. So let's see. Regular enchantment rules apply. Table slow drain V. Contraption requires a wand. Each requirement requires a specific combination of V from that wand. Table slow drain V from the wand until it's done. Oh, hello. There needs to be 6 pillars in the nearby vicinity, 4 blocks. These pillars need to be at the same level of the table, and they need to be of 2 to 12 obsidian totem blocks stacked on top of each other with a piece of nitor on top of them. The enchanter will get flux energy from them, grabbing V from the wand, and combine them to enchant them. Well, I have a fair bit of obsidian totem. Again, you can get this from just any old, like, sinister node in your world. So give me a quick moment to set this up, because I'm going to have to reference an image here. So, back in a mo. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I've got this thing sorted now. And it is an interesting contraption. Looks a bit on the weirder side of things. But I think it's fine. I mean, it's surrounded by heated armor, so it's gotta be, like, some degree of fine. Maybe they just like it. Maybe they just find it attractive. I don't know. But they're hanging around, suffice it to say. So, bidoop. Right, so, in here, we should be able to plonk stuff. So let's start with our Boots of the Traveler. So, let's see, we've got a bunch of options now. We unlock a bunch of these via the Research of Pharmic Tinker. So we've got Repair, Haste, Slow Fall, Projectile Protection, Blast Protection, Feather Falling, Fire Protection, Protection, Shockwave, Unbreaking. Let's take a look at Shockwave, that sounds interesting. Especially since all these things will stick in there while we're doing this. So, Shockwave, Dispersed Strikes. No, that's not what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. Fulminate enchantment that enables you to become to kill enemies while falling. This enchantment can be applied on boots. When done so, whenever the wearer falls, damage will be dealt to surrounding mobs or players. Magics of all types that make the player lighter, so to prevent damage from falling, will make the player too light to damage entities. You feel like many ways to stop this at a later time once you know the magic better. So basically, because of our Flugel Tiara, we can't take advantage of that, but I don't know how much advantage we'd have of that anyways. So, let's take a look. What else was in that list? It had speed. Speed was in that way, wasn't it? So there's haste. Requires 12 ordo and 9 air. So if we get that, we can also change what level we want it to be. So let's just get this straight up. Let's go a little bit nuts, and we'll use the actual, like, full cost here of haste 3. And let's just see how this thing goes. So, let's see, we want haste, and we want haste 3. So, wait, nope, that's the wrong thing. Hello, how do I get this thing to work then? Click to remove. How do I click to engage is my next question. I don't see anything happening. Is it just going to... Oh, there we are. Start enchanting. Slightly obscured by the presence of Shockwave. Start it. So here we go. And we're done. So we now have haste free on our Boots of the Traveler. So let's see how... It feels mildly faster. Pretty fast, pretty speedy. Not as fast as Globetrotter Sash, but I'm not combining those anytime soon. And I think we can also continually enchant. We can keep doing that. Nope, looks like we'll have to strip those off, but that's fine, because we can rip the enchantments off using the spellbinding cloth, and our mana recharges. So that is fantastic. I now have access to very specific, like, vanilla enchants, plus a few special ones. And also on our list for enchanting today is another piece. So Runic Shielding has been a bit of a long time coming. I haven't touched it in the slightest. And we can enchant our existing armor, but that costs a fair bit, so we won't do that just today. But what we can do is make a Ring of Runic Shielding, which will give us Runic Shield plus 5. So I just need some enchanted fabric, a bit of Nitor, spot of scribing tools, bit of amber, and a primal charm around a regular old ring. Where's my handy ledger? There you are. Okay, so got most of that together. Just need to grab some scribing tools, which are fairly cheap, but for the time being, since I'm not actually researching all that much, we'll just grab the ones that I keep having around and swapping out with a pen. So there we are, scribing tools, and a spot of amber, and a mundane ring. Okay, now this one ranks as minor. Okay, that's pretty handy. So this is probably going to be perfectly fine and stable. Don't need to worry about that, although I still need to clear up this flux goo. I guess I could clean it up with the totems. And oh hey, we kept our spellbinding cloth. That's good. Did not notice that. Just used a single usage. And whoa, I must need more caffeine. My eyes are kind of weirded out. Okay. This must be fantastic for YouTube. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's perfectly fine. Okay, so how many things are in this? Yeah. There are a grand total of 5 things. Oh, joy. That's going to be a pain to put in here. Okay, so 1 here, 1 there, 1 here, and then 1 over. That's suddenly sharp quality again. And then these can go here. Yeah, looks like a decent pentagram. I think we're fine. Okay. And then, in we go. So, off it goes. We shouldn't have any issues with instability here. I think most of what we had last time was just due to the arranging of the pieces. But let's see, we got the Precantatio going in, the Tutaman's already in there. If you try to get the higher levels of Runic shielding on your armor, you can go through like whole stacks and a bit of Tutaman. Looks like one of the most expensive parts of this. But I believe we are just about done, so yep. In goes the Primal Charm. In goes the Amber. In goes the Spellbinding Cloth, or the Magic Cloth rather. In goes the Nitor, and in go the Scribing Tools, and there we go. So that gets us a Ring of Runic Shielding, which we can use to replace this Band of Mana that we never use, because we just have a hook to the main supply. So there we go, and we can see on my health there that it is ticking up, so I now have 5, whoop, and a bit more, apparently, bits of Runic Shielding. So, I think that's stacking with my Cloak of Virtue. I think the Cloak of Virtue has like an effect that is basically Runic Shielding, judging from the sounds it makes whenever I take damage. So, that makes me look a little bit shinier. Just a little bit. I got shiny bootsies. And that also means that I now have like a sort of a shield against damage that foes might try to deal with me. Now the next thing I want to check out is probably going to be Wand Foci, so that we have some kind of more like useful in sort of contained quarters kind of battle weapon, because Kyosetsu is fantastic, but it's not the best in like a cramped condition, which we might end up with. I don't know what's on the other side of these universes. So with that, I believe we'll call it a day, because we are running on a bit of a long episode here, and I've evidently got quite a bit of enchanting to do. But with that, I hope you have enjoyed. Next time we're going to other universes. Ooh, I can't wait. And I shall catch you all next time.